What's up, everybody? It's Pete, and I'm here with another Risk video. This is my main account, currently ranked 492. We have a game with the Asia 1800s map with two human opponents, the third to act Novice and the fourth to act Intermediate. I was second to act. I started here, my first take was in southern China to try and unify my armies. I only have one exclave, which is in southern Indonesia. I'm going to do my usual thing with that exclave and start to reinforce it by one unit a turn, but focus my reinforcement to the center of the board and unify, and then have a decent striking position to work from while maintaining an exclave, so I'm not just accidentally killed. I tried to have 3 human opponents, but it wasn't seeming to get the game's fire, so we have ended up with a Novice who has won 31 out of their last 600 and 603 losses, and an intermediate ranked player who is ranked 170,000, 147, lost 155. Okay, turn to the yellow bot takes Tibet. I think it makes total sense for me to break it. And continue consolidating. I had a 2 in China and a 2 in the Andaman Islands, so I'm now one step away from consolidating all of my forces in the center. I did miss the reinforcement in the south, so I think I'm going to make sure I put 2 men in there next turn to catch up from that. Orange takes Japan, fairly good. Looks like they'll be able to hold it. Blue appears to be hunting me. I wonder if that's actually what's happening, and or if it's just a coincidence. I don't really enjoy feeling surrounded by a quite large army and then a secondary, which leads more credence to the idea that I should put some troops in this exclave just to make myself harder to kill. If he wants to suicide into me, he can, but at least then there's not much incentive to do so. Okay, for the third turn, purple has taken India, so somebody's going to have to do something about that. It looks like for me yellow might be the fish. So I'm going to put all 3 of my reinforcements in Indonesia, and I'm going to move my force north, allowing, hopefully, blue to see the connection that he can make to unify his army. And then we've gone in separate directions, which is exactly what I want to do. I want to get out of all my opponent's way and just slowly develop my armies in 2 centers of gravity, typically, and then strike out from there and kill my opponents in sequence during the 6th, 7th, and 8th turn. What does blue do now? Okay, they do not make a move to connect their army. Green takes Afghanistan, keeps attacking for some reason. Not that they would have held it on the border with India anyways. They had to break India, but they were bought, so they don't know that. Okay, purple just reinforced 8 units because they were allowed to hold India. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to allow purple to expand out from their area, thus confining all of the other players to the remainder of the board and making them easier to pick off because they're more concentrated. So this is actually great. So on the next turn, we can consider these two yellow territories lost, and probably the third. Seeing as how I was interested in making a play for yellow, I want to beef up this exclave, actually. I want to have a fairly decent sized army in there. Make my attack in the north, so now my armies are as separated as they possibly can be, and I still maintain a reasonably good striking position on yellow. I've also been allowed to hold all my singles that I've had mostly since the beginning of the game, which is unusual. I don't usually get to keep all of these territories without defending them. I'm not sure if that's intentional or accidental, but my intuition is that blue is going to start working on those now. Yep. Purple will take the remaining two of yellow if possible, leaving yellow with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units. They'll reinforce 3 on their turn, so they'll have 11. And I'm right next to most of them. I could potentially take yellow out on the 5th turn. Purple matches. Do I have a match? I do. So let's see if yellow is in a situation where I can defeat them. These 4 cards are pretty good. Maybe they match on their turn, in which case they become less appealing. But you see how I predicted that they would lose everything they lost? So they start their turn with 11. They do not match. Alright, I think you're the fish, yellow. I think you're the fish. Okay, so my plan is, for 5 cards, you gotta do it. I'm gonna put 6 men in here. 7 on 2 is 100%. With the remainder of my 12, I'm gonna make an attack on their 3, and I'm gonna split my army, leaving 4, which is 97% chance, and I'm going to clean that out first, just in case I hit that 3% of bad luck. Okay, and it looks like I got yellow. Next I'm going to move my 5 into my 7. Just so that blue doesn't feel too pressured. But yeah, that was perfect. I end the turn with the same number of cards I had before, but I have more territories, and I've matched twice. Orange quit. So now I'm playing against only one human opponent. What does blue do? It is essential that you do something, because I am too strong to be left alone. I do have a match. I can hurt you really bad, blue, if you let me. Yep, they match. Okay. They'd probably punch me really hard. Or they make an uninspired play for Tibet. Okay. So now they've spent their match. They don't have a match on their next turn. So using their cards for what appears to be a defensive board position is something that I always recommend people don't do. You want to use your cards to defeat opponents, thereby getting more cards. The cards are the key to progressive, in the way I think that the continents are the key to fixed. Okay, I actually don't have to do anything this turn, so I'm going to put myself in position to kill green. Assuming that green doesn't match next turn. Purple losing their exclave in North Korea is also important, because they're not particularly strong. 2 cards for 26 is actually a pretty good deal, given how this board is. It's just as likely that green will match if they have one. But if they don't, I can take them from where I'm sitting and get their 3 cards, which is great. Or 4 if they get a take. Okay, so they match, so I can't kill them. What do they do? I think purple might be the fish. So purple won't be able to match. They'll leave 2 cards. They will have India, so they'll be putting in a fair amount of troops on their reinforcement. The match point is 20. I have an 18 army, so 38 is pretty big. Yeah, I think purple is the answer. Kill purple, match in turn, and then start working on blue. Let's see how it goes. Okay, it went well. Okay, so I'm going to basically obliterate blue. I'm going to roll manually until I run out of time, and then I'll bash into them. I don't actually win. I've hurt them so badly that they can't recover. Okay. Sorry. But this game is mine. Oh, I didn't actually get the fortify in time. I hope green has a match. I also have to make sure to not let orange win, because they're not a bot. They started the game as a human, so if I actually lose to that AI, I would lose as if they were a novice. Do you have a match, blue? Oh, okay. Blue has dropped as well. So, that's game. There are no human opponents left in this game. I will clean up blue on my turn. Yep, so this is what happens when you know you lost. Sometimes you quit. I think the app needs to figure out a way to distinguish between people closing their game and people dropping their connection, because he must not have quit, because then the bot would have taken over immediately. The way these quits tend to work is you got to eat out the whole 60-second turn, and then they'll put the reinforcement in at the last second, but they won't get a take. But if they had a match, they would have actually used the match too, so those cards would be gone. I don't really like how that algorithm works. I would prefer that if players quit, that at least the bot that takes over for them has enough time to get a take, so they continue adding to the number of cards in the equation. But it is all irrelevant, because I win right now. So it's best in this situation to not punch their big armies, but to take out the majority of their territories. Almost. So I got all but one of Orange's territories. Orange can't match. I kill them next turn, which is the 8th turn, I think. Okay, so let's see what a novice and an intermediate are worth in terms of rank. $492, novice plus intermediate is worth. There you have it. So at this stage in the game, you're only ranking up a little bit, and you stand to lose a lot when you're playing against novices, but winning games pays off. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found some of this valuable, I really appreciate your attention, and for all of you on the path to world domination, good luck and good games.